No one on YouTube tells you this. Field you admire, business, relationships, success, runs on hidden codes most people never see. The rules that keep you stuck are invisible, but the masters, they see them and bend. Until you learn to decode the system, you're just another pawn on someone else's. But before you can bend the game, before you can twist its rules around your finger and make them dance to your tune, there's one thing you have to do. It's the step that 99% of people skip. And that's why they stay in the shadows, while a select few rise to dominance. That step, learning the rules better than anyone else. Imagine a man walking into a battlefield blindfolded, thinking his strength alone will save him. That's how most people operate. They believe passion is enough, that sheer willpower can overpower the system. But systems are designed to absorb that energy, grind it down, to make it conform. You truly want to master any field, you can't charge in blind. You have to study its architecture, its hidden weaknesses, its pressure points. Reverse intelligence starts here with obsession. You must dissect the rules until they reveal their skeleton, until you know them so well you can predict them, exploit them, subvert them. Every field, whether it's business, relationships, or war, has its own unspoken codes. The masses obey these codes without even realizing it. They think they're making choices, but they're really following script written by invisible hands. But the master, he studies those codes until he can rewrite them, until he can make the game itself dance to his rhythm. Here's how it begins. First method. Every field has a structure, a hierarchy, a system of power. People are too busy chasing approval or recognition to see it. But if you step back, if you observe quietly, patterns emerge. You'll see the real players, the silent power brokers, the ones who shape the game while others chase shadows. Watch them learn their moves. How do they bend perception? How do they control the narrative? How do they make people dance while appearing invisible themselves? Second, learn the language. Every domain has its own dialect. Business, it's the art of negotiation, the coded speech of influence. Relationships, it's body language, tone, the subtle signals that tell you who's really in control. In politics, it's optics, how words are used as weapons, how appearances are crafted like illusions. You must master this language until you can speak it fluently, and then until you can twist it to serve your purpose. Third, understand the weaknesses. Every system has vulnerabilities. Every fortress has cracks in its walls. Most people are too afraid to look for them because they've been conditioned to obey, to respect the status quo. But the master seeks these weaknesses with surgical precision. Every rule, there's a loophole. In every opponent, a flaw. In every structure, pressure point. And reverse intelligence means finding those flaws not to destroy, but to control. Fourth, know the players better than they know themselves. People are predictable. Even the smartest ones have patterns, fears, blind spots. The key to mastering any field is to study the players until you can anticipate their every move. Watch how they react under pressure. Notice what makes them hesitate. Find their triggers, the words, the gestures, the moments that make their minds crack open. Because once you control their mind, you control the game. But let me warn you, this step is not for the faint-hearted. It requires patience. It requires restraint. It requires the cold discipline to sit back and watch while others rush in and burn themselves out. Because reverse intelligence isn't about brute force. It's about invisible force. It's about winning battles before they even begin. Fifth, deconstruct the rules, then rebuild them in your image. Once you know the game better than anyone else, you'll see how fragile it really is. The rules that once seemed like iron chains will start to dissolve. In your hands, that's when you can begin to bend them, to invert them, to use them against themselves. In business, that might mean turning an opponent's strength into their downfall. Relationships, it might mean using expectations to surprise and disarm. Any field, it means creating an advantage where none existed before. This is the foundation of reverse intelligence, to learn the game so well that you can reprogram it, to see the blueprint beneath the surface, to turn every challenge into a secret weapon. Because when you understand the rules, they're no longer chains, they're tools. And when you master the tools, you master the game. So before you try to bend the system, study it. Before you try to break the rules, understand why they were written. And before you try to win, learn why others lose. That's where the seeds of reverse intelligence are planted. Because only when you know the game better than anyone else can you become the one who rewrites the rules. Most people live inside the game. They learn its rules. They follow its commands. They become its obedient soldiers. But the master of reverse intelligence, he doesn't just follow he flips the script. He learns to make the game serve him. That's where the second stage begins. Inversion is the art of using the rules against themselves. It's the hidden lever that makes the world's strongest minds bend to your will without ever realizing it. But make no mistake, this isn't just about being clever. It's about understanding human nature so deeply that you can pull the strings from the shadows. Let's break it down. Step 1. Turn weakness into strength. In every field, people hide their weaknesses. They build walls around them, hoping no one will see. But here's the secret. Those weaknesses are the easiest way to seize control. When you acknowledge your weaknesses and even use them openly, become unpredictable. The enemy expects you to hide them, to defend them. But when you own them, you flip the power dynamic. They don't know what to attack anymore. Their sword swings in the air while you're already inside their guard. Think of it like a chess game. The best players know that a sacrifice is sometimes the most powerful move. Offered up can open the entire board. The same is true in life. When you turn your flaws into fuel, you become unstoppable. Step 2. Invert expectations. Every field, every industry, every relationship is built on expectations. People think they know what comes next. They've been conditioned to expect certain behaviors. Reverse intelligence means you shatter those expectations deliberately. Imagine a negotiator who's always aggressive. People learn to fear him, but also to predict him. One day he sits in silence, calm as a monk. Suddenly, everyone is off balance. They're waiting for the blow that never comes. They're no longer playing their own game. They're playing his. That's power. Business, this means challenging the if everyone is shouting, whisper. If everyone is racing, you slow. If everyone is showing strength, you show vulnerability. Just long enough to lure them in. When you invert expectations, you control the narrative. Step 3. Exploit predictability. People are on autopilot. Their habits, their patterns, their routines, that all predictable. Reverse intelligence means using that predictability against. Watch how they react to stress. Observe what triggers their fear or learn their emotional rhythms. Because once you understand the pattern, you can disrupt it at will. You can make them react before they're ready. You can make them reveal their intentions before they even know them. Imagine a competitor who always brags about their next move. Feed them information that leads them down a dead end. Let them think they're winning until you slam the door. That's how you win wars without lifting a sword. Most people chase success without a map. Whisper's secret is that map. 15 plus chapters covering psychological immunity, cognitive recalibration, and influence frameworks. that turn your mind into an unstoppable weapon. If you're tired of feeling stuck, this is the blueprint you need. Click the link in the pinned comment. And don't forget to check out Whispers Power Bundle for the complete arsenal. Step 4. The art of strategic withdrawal. Power isn't always about advancing. Sometimes it's about retreating. Strategically, the weak retreat out of fear. The master retreats to set the trap. Reverse intelligence means knowing when to pull back. The opponent overextend and then strike. It's the art of baiting them with false victory. Let them taste what they think is success. Let them believe they've broken your defenses. That's when their guard falls. That's when their confidence blinds them. And that's when you move in for the kill. In every field, business, relationships, politics, people overcommit when they smell blood. They make mistakes. Forget caution. And that's when the master of reverse intelligence strikes. Step 5. Weaponize perception. The final step is understanding that in any field, perception is reality. People don't act on the truth, they act on what they believe. Reverse intelligence is about shaping that belief. It's about planting the seeds of doubt, fear, or loyalty. Whatever serves your goals. About making them see what you want them to see. In negotiations, make your opponent believe you're desperate until they drop their guard. In relationships, make others think you're just another player until you've taken their queen. In the corporate world, let them underestimate you until you own the boardroom. Perception is the most powerful weapon in the game, and the master of reverse intelligence wields it like a sword. By now, you understand the system. You've dissected it. You've flipped its script and turned its strengths into weaknesses. But there's a final layer to this game, a level where most men never dare to tread. This is the realm of the unseen game, the battlefield of perception, of influence, of the mind itself. Because the greatest battles aren't fought in boardrooms or on the streets. They're fought in the shadows of the mind, where beliefs are born, where doubts are planted, where the seeds of loyalty or betrayal take root. And that's where the master of reverse intelligence reigns supreme. Step 1. Control the narrative. Every field, whether it's business, relationships, politics, or war, runs on narratives. People crave stories that make sense of the chaos around them. They cling to these stories because they give them comfort, purpose, and identity. The average man is a slave to these stories. He believes them without question. But the master, he writes them. Imagine a chessboard where every piece moves according to rules you invented. Thus, the power of controlling the narrative. You create a story that others believe, and then you bend their actions to fit that story. For example, you want to win over a team in a competitive workplace. Instead of bragging about your achievements, you craft a narrative that you're the underdog, the silent warrior, fighting against the odds. People love it. Rebel. They rally behind you. They give you their loyalty without realizing they're giving you their power. 2. Become the invisible hand. The strongest players aren't always the ones you see in the spotlight. They're the ones who shape the game from the shadows. Reverse intelligence is about learning to pull the strings without leaving fingerprints. Plant an idea in the right ear. Let a rumor grow in the feed a competitor just enough information to make them think they're in control while you're 3 steps ahead. The moment people believe they're acting on their own free will, you own. That's the hidden truth of influence. Think of history's greatest strategists. They rarely fought on the front lines. They shaped alliances, pitted rivals against each other, and made empires dance with invisible strings. That's the game you must. The art of being unseen but all powerful. Step 3. Weaponize emotion. People think logic drives the world, but Emotion is the real engine. Fear, pride, appreciation. These are the levers that move nations, build empires, and topple kings. The master of reverse intelligence knows how to push these buttons at will. Want to make someone find their deepest fear? To make someone follow you? Show them a glimpse of the victory they crave. To make someone doubt themselves? Plant a single seed of uncertainty. Then step back and let their mind destroy itself. This is not manipulation for the weak-hearted. It's psychological warfare at its most refined. Because once you understand the emotions that rule people, you become the architect of their destiny. Step 4. Embrace psychological Aikido. In martial arts, there's a discipline called Aikido. Not about meeting force with force. About redirecting your opponent's energy to defeat them without resistance. Reverse intelligence works the same way. When you face opposition, don't fight it head on. Let it come to you. Let it reveal its intention. Let it overextend. Then with a subtle movement, a word, a gesture, a question, turn their strength against them. Imagine a competitor boasting about their plans. Instead of arguing, ask them to explain. Let them show their hand. Let them put themselves into a corner. The moment they realize they've given too much away, it's already too late. You want without ever lifting a sword. Step 5. Build the mind that can't be broken. The final step isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. Because the true master of reverse intelligence knows you can only bend the world when you're unbendable. You need a mind that's immune to distractions, immune to praise, immune to fear. A mind that can watch chaos unfold and remain. A mind that can plan 3 steps ahead while others are stuck on the next. How do you build that mind? Discipline, ritual, reflection. Day, sharpen your thoughts like a blade. Question your motives. Study your weaknesses. Learn from every mistake. Because the mind that can't be broken, can't be defeated. Reverse intelligence is not a single trick. It's not a tactic you can learn overnight. It's a system of thinking that transforms you from a pawn in someone else's game into the master of your own destiny. It's about dissecting the rules, inverting them, and then playing the unseen game where perception is reality and power is defined by who controls the narrative. And the final secret, every field, every battle, every human interaction is just a stage for the same game. Learn to play it in one field and you can play it anywhere. Because the mind that can bend the game in one place can bend the world to self. This isn't a trick for the weak. It's a challenge for the few who dare to rise above the noise. For the few who understand that power is not givens, taken. One thought, one move, one hidden game at a time. You've learned how to dissect the rules, how to invert them, how to weaponize emotion, and how to build a mind that can't be broken. But the question is, will you use it or will you stay in the crowd waiting for permission to win? Because in the end, reverse intelligence is not about playing the game. It's about becoming the game. So I challenge you starting today to pick a field, any field, and begin the transformation. Study its rules, invert its expectations, bend its reality, and when you're ready, strike with precision. Because the world isn't going to hand you the crown, you're going to have to take it. And that starts the moment you choose to think differently. This is your move. Make it